大家好，我是 Jason Wang 王凯杰。
I'm starting my journey through the world of Michelin-starred dining. I've got an appetite for learning about the culture of the countries I'll visit, using delicious foods and flavors to record my travels. Armed with my 5 senses, I want to take a closer look at how masterful chefs prepare the finest cuisine in the world. Come with me. Let's explore what it truly takes to create a Michelin star-worthy meal. Today, my food hunter itinerary continues in Central Europe with a visit to our 3rd Michelin restaurant on this journey in Prague, the Czech Republic. In 2019, the Michelin Guide gave recommendations for 31 restaurants in Prague. Today's restaurant visit will have us meeting a very young owner-executive chef. He lived in the United States for many years and decided to return to Prague, bringing his culinary point of view for an innovative, fresh dining concept. This restaurant was only open for 1 short year before earning a recommendation by the Michelin Guide.
我现在要来拜访的一家餐厅就是米其林餐盘推荐的 Benjamin. And you can see it's hidden away here in a residential neighborhood with some very, very intricate, interesting architecture. But I think we're in for a little bit of surprise. And why is that? I think there are only 10 seats in the restaurant, so... And yeah, it looks quite small. Nobody's here. And do you know why that is? They're out looking for mushrooms. So I've already made an appointment with the owner and one of the chefs. They're out picking mushrooms. I'm going to go find them and we're going to talk about mushrooms.
This is another restaurant that tips your fine dining Michelin expectations upside down. Of this 10-seater restaurant hideaway, the Michelin Guide writes, 10 seats around a horseshoe counter. Come early for 5 courses or later for the full 8-course experience. Chefs interact with guests, presenting carefully executed, boldly flavored dishes, which are inspired by the history and old recipes of Central Europe. Wine pairings are offered to match. The restaurant is like a theater with the chef as the director. There's no waitstaff and the chef interacts with diners almost like they're having a friendly meal at home. Also, all the ingredients are sourced from the Czech Republic and at the same time highlights what's in season. In addition to working with suppliers, the chef likes to collect and forage special ingredients from outdoors. Wild mushrooms are a treasured taste of autumn throughout Central Europe, so during this season, you'll often find chefs working away in the forest like Super Mario collecting mushrooms.
I'm really excited today. It's a perfect fall-autumn day. The weather's great, the temperature is a little warm. I'm here looking for the chef and the owners from Benjamin. Hello, I'm Jason.
Hey Gavin, how are you?
Nice to meet you, I'm
Steven.
Jason. Hello,
Ciao.
pleasure. Thank you for having me today. I know we're going to go on a little bit of a stroll in the forest. Is that right?
Do some foraging, try and find some mushrooms.
From what I read, traditionally, mushroom foraging is a big deal in the Czech Republic.
It's big season of the year.
I know yesterday was St. Wenceslas Day, and do people go foraging for mushrooms on that day as well?
Yeah, because it's the new season of the Wenzel's mushrooms, actually.
Ah, really? I think it's amazing. It's kind of like a national sport.
It is. Big competition.
And just a way to get out there and just really enjoy nature. So
Absolutely.
let's go take a look and see if we can find something.
Let's do it.
Okay, wonderful. After you, please. Thanks.
Foraging like we are now and looking for our own special ingredients when possible is often a unique aspect of Michelin restaurants. Our food hunter journey has already taken us to many Michelin restaurants where we've eaten lots of wild mushrooms, so I'm thrilled I finally get the chance to pick some in person today. 1/3 of the land in the Czech Republic is covered by forest, so because of the rich abundance of trees and woodlands, you can find wild mushrooms here nearly year-round. But the primary mushroom foraging season usually begins during May, continues through the summer, and peaks around St. Wenceslas Day, a national holiday in late September, since the variety and quality of mushrooms you can find in autumn are the best. Today we're joining Stepan and Gavin for a taste of mushroom foraging in the Czech Republic. I can't wait to see what we'll find to bring back to the restaurant.
Where exactly are the best spots for mushrooms?
The best spots are basically everywhere.
Everywhere.
Just take a look if it's not picked.
If it's not picked.
Exactly.
I see some down here.
Sure.
Should we go down and take a look?
Oh my.
Okay.
Why not?
I'll go first?
I go first.
Okay.
I show you.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
All
after
right,
you,
thanks,
after
Gavin.
you.
Okay. I think it's really interesting. You never know where you're gonna find something,
Exactly.
right? So you gotta just take a look and see. And
Sure.
I see stuff down here, and I'm sure as we get farther down, we're gonna find some. Gavin, you're good?
Definitely.
Okay. All right, here we go.
The Czechs say that wherever there are mushrooms, that's where we go. The forest we're in right now is surprisingly only a 15-minute drive from downtown Prague. It's really incredible that we can find mushrooms right here in the city suburbs.
They're all over the place, it looks like.
Yeah, the best thing my grandmother always said, look at the trunk, look at the under the leaves,
Ah.
and you can see that.
And which varieties do the Czech people like to look for the most?
The most traditional are in Czech language, the praváci is the best flavor, and as well the liška, which is
Chanterelle, okay.
Chanterelle,
Or Irish
That's the
Schwammel.
most delicious ones.
Ah, okay.
But they always grow in certain time only. Down there you can find some.
So I see there are mushrooms, they're here. Oh, and there are lots of little ones here. What's the environment is best for mushrooms?
What we're looking for is basically the same as here. Lots of moss,
yeah.
lots of like the leaf, like
okay.
when they decompose down.
And why is that?
It creates the kind of the moist
okay.
environment, and also it traps the humidity in the air as well,
okay,
which is
okay. That's
which
what
helps
the
them
mushrooms-
to
oh.
grow.
Helps to grow.
Okay, and these put,
You okay?
yeah, stinging nettle.
Yeah.
So 就是要跟大家讲一下 this is actually stinging nettle 是刺的 and then 你到时候搞在手上会有刺. So we're out here in the wild, everything is just as it's gonna be, so thank you very much, stinging nettle. Okay, so let's take a look at this mushroom, how you can identify if mushrooms are edible or not.
Generally, the underneath.
Okay.
The underneath here, we call them gills. Generally, the ones that have these gills.
Okay, we kind of avoid a little bit.
There's a few that you can, but it's best to be safe
okay.
and not have them. There's some which are a little bit more spongy,
Okay.
which are generally the good ones to
okay.
eat.
This kind of mushroom isn't edible, so we're just gonna leave it right here. Some words of caution if you're considering picking wild mushrooms like us in the Czech Republic. First and foremost, only ever pick mushrooms that you are 100% familiar with. Leave all other species alone to avoid potential poisoning. Secondly, wear long sleeves and pants while in the forest to help avoid insects that bite or being attacked by plants with thorns. Or my painful run-in with the nettle just now. It's itchy and stings.
Oh, more mushrooms here.
Good spot.
I'm just curious, these type of mushrooms, are people collecting these or?
They are, but they're a bit small at the moment. They're a bit
Okay.
young. We call them in England. We call them chicken of the woods. But
okay.
they're a bit hard at the moment.
Okay, just in this little area, there's this one with this kind of creamy, kind of grayish gills, and then there's also this one. Either of these edible? Maybe not. Maybe
These
not.
ones are they grow just in the September.
Okay,
It's called masňáky,
okay.
and this one is eatable, even though it looks that it's
It
not.
has gills. Who taught you how to identify mushrooms or?
Our parents does always.
Okay.
When we are really, really young, like 5 to 14, we
Yeah.
always go pick every season.
Did you ever get sick eating one by accident or?
No.
No. But everybody just knows which varieties you can
Exactly.
eat and which ones you can't eat.
Exactly.
Okay, so how many varieties do you say that typical family might pick if they're going to?
Let's say about 30.
30. They're all wild.
And all for free.
For free! For free!
And my grandma has always one tip, just look at twice. When you find one,
Okay.
you will find more. Because it's always like a
okay,
family.
colony.
They grow, they collect them.
And I think what's really interesting is just to point out there are so many different varieties of mushrooms, but some of them look alike, some of them look like other ones. You have to make a 100% positive identification before you eat any of them. And especially with wild mushrooms, do people eat them raw?
Some of them, yes.
Some you
But
can.
mostly just stir fry,
Okay.
a little bit garlic, a little bit butter.
Okay, because I know that
Parsley.
with some of the wild mushrooms that if you don't cook them thoroughly, they're still gonna give you
Yeah.
some issues.
Yeah.
You will feel them in the morning.
Yeah.
In the Czech Republic, almost everyone will have some knowledge of wild mushrooms, and most people will learn about them starting as children. This is life wisdom that is passed down from generation to generation. Love of mushrooms in the Czech Republic has a history that goes back hundreds of years. Mushrooms were first called meat for the poor man's table. People who couldn't afford meat could go to the forest and collect mushrooms. This free access to these gifts from the forest, whose delicious taste and satisfying texture could compare with meat, created a very special culture. Although other countries in Central Europe also love to forage, their love for hunting mushrooms can't compare to the Czech obsession. According to statistics, the average Czech family picks 8.2 kilograms of wild mushrooms a year. But so far, we've only picked one. We'd better start looking harder.
我觉得去采蘑菇 is really fun because it's almost like a game. You're never sure what you're gonna find on a given day. 然后这边翻翻，这边看一看，但是有的时候有，有的时候没有。但是真的找到 some really fun ones, it's let you be really excited, 很开心的这种感觉。So we're gonna keep looking over here and see if there's anything interesting to be seen here. So, oh man, wow. Okay, so come over here. Let's take a look. Do you see this? It's amazing. So Gavin, it looks to me like maybe this is a macrolepiota or like a parasol.
Yeah, I think so.
But it looks a little bit aged.
That's quite a big one.
Okay.
I think that's quite a big one.
Okay.
No,
Wow.
normally when we find them, they're around that big, but this one survived.
In general, what's the best stage to harvest a mushroom at?
A couple of weeks after they've spawned.
Okay.
When they kind of get this big, they're a bit like tough and
Okay.
a bit hard.
Okay. And I can already see that some people have been nibbling on this one
Yeah, I
already.
think so. Some of the little animals that are around here.
We're not going to harvest this one, but what's the best way to pick the mushroom? Do you just pull it out? Do you cut it? Or what's your...
The best with a little knife. If you take it just kind of above the ground level,
Okay.
kind of here, it means that once we cut it, the mushroom can regrow again and keep going. If you pull it out, it's kind of ruined.
Okay.
This is a yummy variety of edible mushroom, but it's a shame it's past its prime. In the commonly understood code of rules for mushroom hunting, in addition to avoiding varieties you don't know, you should always leave some behind to reproduce and leave immature specimens alone to continue growing. Through their relationship with mushrooms, the Czech people learn from an early age how to coexist with nature and how to appreciate the environment. The culture of mushrooming isn't just solely focused on satisfying your appetite. Now that everyone understands the rules, let's see if I have any luck on my own. So I'm looking around here, trying to see if there's anything interesting. You see oak leaves here. You never know what's around here. And 很多 leaf litter stuff. Oh, okay. So I don't know if you can see this here. There's a little mushroom here. And again, when there's one, 通常会有别的，所以这个 but it's a little dried here. 我们在这边翻一翻。哦，这边也有一个。But 就是 there's like 叶子 and stuff right here. 你要翻一翻 maybe 底下就有一个 mushroom. Okay, here's another one. Oh, look, there's more here. Some more here. 很多人很早早上就来这边picking mushrooms. 所以好的都是被人家采光嘛。Let's take a look and over here. Okay, so 这个很 interesting. 这个小橘子色的这种 mushroom. And you can see 这边有一个 log. So 这种的 mushroom 一定是从the log is decaying and the mushroom is kind of eating the log. So, and also, oh, here's another one. So the more you look, this is a puffball. It's a little bit 过期了, expired, but just lets you know that there's so many different kinds of things here.
Are these edible ones? They're probably not.
I'm not sure to be honest.
You can try them tonight.
Yeah.
Try them tonight.
These small mushrooms aren't edible, so we'll just leave them here in nature and just enjoy how pretty they are. Once again, I want to remind everyone that if you aren't sure if a mushroom is edible or not, do not pick it. Just when I thought we'd be going home without seeing anything else, on the way back through the woods, we had an unexpected discovery.
Let's take a look over here. Come on. Okay, so this one I'm really excited about. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this one. A little bit.
We see them now and then.
This one I know is it's called Birch Polypore because it only grows on birch trees. Polypore, no gills. Let's see, let's take one off. But the underside's very, very creamy white, but you can actually write in it. And then artists will use kind of a little metal tip and kind of inscribe stuff in here, but you can make a nice picture. But it has a very interesting, fresh flavor. Unfortunately, 这个是不能吃的，但是的味道 is very, mushroom smell, right?
Beautiful smell.
很香的这种的 mushroom 的 fragrance and kind of almondy smell that you might associate with mushrooms, but it's just interesting. Certain mushrooms only grow on certain trees.
The Czech forest in autumn is just a lovely and vibrant place to be. Even if we don't find anything, just hiking and looking around and getting to chat with Stepan and Gavin while breathing in the fresh air is so enjoyable. No wonder the Czech people are never tired of mushroom picking. Before leaving, I've got a little secret I need to share with everyone.
他们是非常热心，他们准备一个 small surprise for us. And look! Ta-da! We found so many mushrooms! 所以他们就是怕如果真的找不到，他们准备一些。But we do have something to cook with today.
We've got something.
Yes,
Yep.
and I do see that these are, how do you call these in Czech?
Lishka.
Lishka. But beautiful chanterelle mushrooms with,
One of the best.
they have the lovely aroma. I think that's very...
My favorites.
We've tasted Chanterelle mushrooms in other Michelin restaurants throughout our journey, and of course, they are so delicious. Today, Gavin's going to use them to cook up some traditional Czech cuisine for me. Actually, our mission isn't finished yet. Before returning to the restaurant, the chefs tell me we've still got some other ingredients to pick up.
So, I hear running water. Stepan, where are we right now? What are we coming to see?
We are in our first supplier, fish supplier.
Oh,
We've got
okay.
here a little farm, so you can see a pond.
Okay.
Here is a fish that you can buy fresh.
Okay.
And here is a fish that you can actually enjoy it here as a bistro.
Oh!
So for this season, we got a trout, which is rainbow one.
Okay.
Then we have a sivan, carp, sturgeon, and the best trout, which is called a river one.
Are these all native to the Czech Republic?
Yes.
Or in the, okay. I noticed on the menu, one of the dishes that we're going to be tasting later, there's fish element. So
Yep.
I saw sturgeon for sure. Are we
Yes.
going to try anything else too?
We have
or-
sturgeon, we have some char at
Okay.
the moment, and we're thinking about some carp, for
carp.
later on as well.
So it's creative cuisine using fish, which is, I think, very interesting because the Czech Republic itself is landlocked in terms of sea. So
This is basically our mentality. We work only what we
Yes.
can have.
What we have from
local,
Czech Republic.
available.
Yeah.
And that's
Wonderful.
why we combine vegetarian, meaty, and fish dishes.
Great.
That's what we're gonna see very soon in our restaurant.
It turns out we are here to buy fish. At Benjamin, the food philosophy centers around elegant new interpretations of traditional Czech cuisine, where ingredients are deconstructed and then reimagined in exciting new ways. I'm so looking forward to trying this Michelin cuisine. So let's let the chefs choose their fish.
This is our supplier, and we will actually taste his fish today in our restaurant. And Mr. Calendar will as well show us
Okay.
the fish, how it looks.
So the first fish we're looking at is...
Sivan.
Oh my gosh. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's related to
Trout.
trout. And this is people use this commonly in Czech cuisine, or it's just...
It's a little bit wider fish,
Okay.
as well quite larger.
Okay.
And the simplest thing is just salt and pepper on the grill with a little bit butter. It's very
Keeping it simple,
fish.
delicious.
Exactly.
Oh,
That's the
wonderful.
best way always.
So all these are different types of fish.
Exactly.
So this type of fish is
River trout.
river trout.
Trout river. You can see
river
it's,
trout.
the size
Okay.
is really small.
They're small, yes.
Exactly. Perfect mixture.
Okay. And the flavor.
No bones, basically.
Okay.
Very little bones that you can chew anytime.
In terms of trout, is that one of the very traditional fishes that's in the area? Okay.
If you don't take a carp, this
Okay.
is the best fish you can have in Czech Republic.
Okay.
And as well, most common and most known in the families. The supplier always buys the smallest fish
Yep.
ever. because he has a mineral water, spring water here.
Okay.
So he cleans the fish.
Okay.
And then the fish gets totally different
Flavor. Okay.
And doesn't have the muddy, because we don't have a sea, we don't have an ocean.
Yes.
So we must have a perfect water for it.
Okay.
That's why he buys always a small one and grow it.
OK， 有的时候我们吃这种不是海的鱼会怕泥土味，它是用 mineral 这种矿泉水，有矿物质的在里头，慢慢的把它鱼养大，这样子可以保护它们的natural pure flavor. So it's a delicious technique to make sure we're getting the best flavor we can in them. Awesome.
When Stepan and Gavin come here, in addition to buying fish, they're also looking for creative inspiration. Our tasting menu for later hasn't been completely finalized. Which fish is going to meet their standards today?
Wow, this is a very different type of fish. Sturgeon. Sturgeon 就是鲟鱼. The texture of the meat is very different, right?
Very meaty.
Wow.
They're very live.
They're alive. That's amazing. They look like dinosaurs.
Very soft, very smooth.
Yes. What is the best way, in his opinion, to eat sturgeon?
Jak byste si, jestli teda dělal vy sám, jak byste si
Já jsem
uvařil?
si minulý týden jsme si udělali, naplním celýho, naplnit bylinkama a dal do trouby. Úžasný.
Delicious. In that way, you can taste the natural flavor of
Exactly.
the fish. How long have you been growing and the fish in this particular area?
5 let. Teďka to bude na Vánoce 5 let.
It will be this Christmas 5 years.
5 years. Can we have another picture of you taking a fish out? They love how you look there. Let's take a look here.
They're massive.
Wow.
Cheers to the boss for being so generous and showing us everything. We've eaten sturgeon in some of the Michelin cuisine we've previously sampled, and we learned about it before as the fish that produces true caviar. The meat itself, however, is considered a high-end ingredient, and sturgeon frequently appears on menus throughout Central Europe. For our last fish variety, here comes an absolute Czech favorite.
Oh my gosh, that's a really big fish.
Wow.
Wow, can I take a look? This is also very common.
It's very common and very traditional for Christmas.
Is this the normal size? This seems quite large to me, or they get much bigger?
No, that's regular.
It's regular size. 我们这是鲤鱼，然后通常 maybe 我们是砂锅鱼头 or 红烧. What's the traditional preparation for this around Christmas time?
We do very simple. We just do breadcrumbs
Okay.
and deep fried.
This is
very
amazing.
simple.
It's quite
There
live.
is more dishes to do as well. This is the most traditional and most simple.
所以这个是他们Christmas time 最传统、最经典的，一定是要有鱼，好像过年我们要吃鱼的同样的这种。
But for the Christmas,
Yeah.
we keep the skin,
Okay.
we dry it up, and we keep it in the money pocket
Really?
to give us good luck and money.
他们的习俗就是把皮晾干、晒干，然后放在口袋里，等于是一个 good luck charm for the coming year. 这是很特别的。I'm really curious to see how the fish that we've seen here get transformed in a different way on the plate in the restaurant.
That
So,
will be Gavin job.
Yeah, that's up to me.
what's your general philosophy on how to handle fish and seafood for cooking?
They all have their own properties, their
Yeah.
own different ways of working. For instance, the trout and the char, the sivin.
Yeah.
I quite like to have raw, or
okay.
lightly cured.
Sure.
Because that keeps the flavour. So the sturgeon, for me, is better poached.
Great. Okay.
Because
So
it
each of
keeps
them
the
are
flavour to it.
each of them are going to have their own distinct way to best bring out the flavor.
Hopefully so. That's the
Wonderful.
plan.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
How has Gavin decided to cook the fish? We'll see soon enough. While Gavin and Stepan were discussing menu ideas, I noticed the fish farm owner was already on to preparing something yummy.
Can we take a look and please? Wow! You can see all these trout are hanging here and the different steaks here. It's a great way to preserve it, and the smoking flavor really concentrates into the fish for a completely different mouthfeel and different flavor experience. It's a wonderful way to keep things extended into a longer season.
Mr. Kalindu tells me that smoking is also a very traditional method of preparing fish in the Czech Republic. A lot of people really love the aroma and flavor this process adds to the already tasty fish. Stepan and Gavin have selected what they need and are headed back to the restaurant to prepare our meal. Meanwhile, they suggest I check out a local market. Any mushrooms we couldn't find in the forest should definitely be there. When I arrive at the market, something unusual immediately catches my eye.
我看到一个很特别的东西，你们一定没有看过，让你猜猜看，这是什么东西？猜到了吗？不知道 ，OK。所以你如果想想看，这个原来长得是像这样子，有印象吗 ？OK，it's 向日葵子。If I show you the back, maybe 你比较了解。这是花的后面，然后中间是熟的这些一粒一粒的籽。Look。就是我们知道的葵瓜子，这个是很特别，因为你可以整头买回家，然后把葵瓜子磕下来。如果你要上佐料，或是你要去烤，相当 fresh and it's deliciously tasty。所以通常我们看到一包一包的都也不知道到底是它长相是怎么样。But if you take a look here, it's actually a sunflower。现在也是坚果季节 ，so 新鲜的坚果的 walnut。外面都还有这种黏黏的，就是表示非常新鲜。现在正好是捷克的 mushroom season， 我们正好看到这边，这种是 in the family of bolete，so 等于是像 porcini mushroom， 然后你可以看，通常我们想到菇类的底下会有 gills。But 你看这个好像是像海绵一样 ，so spongy。通常这种的是会长在 forest 里头，是跟 pine trees 松树类的东西长在一起，然后就一个很大的，然后就长在这边。And I see some more over here. If you come take a look， 这个我们的 oyster mushroom， 这个是比较平常看到。You can see that there are gills over here. But this one we've seen before. These are the chanterelles or lischki we saw in the woods, and 通常是这种橘子色的 and 小小的 ，and the flavor 你闻一下好像是像有一点像杏like apricots, that kind of fruity flavor. But in Austria we saw these two Eierschwammel, delicious chanterelles. Okay, so these 通常是 summer 快要到秋天的时候比较常见到 ，but these amazing ones.These are the ones we see in the fall. So Steinpilz, or these are the Porcini mushrooms. 通常是比较小的，是比较嫩的。有的时候长老的时候，我们刚刚看到有很多虫子会咬。But 这个是很新鲜的，整个从梗子到这边 all the way up to the cap. Delicious woodsy kind of mushroomy smell, and you can just see here. So here are the choice specimens. 你看，然后这个也是很 characteristic 的形状，这样子鼓鼓的好像一个 fairy tale 里头 like a cartoon 这样子很可爱。
Porcini mushrooms only grow wild and can't be cultivated. They're also a prized mushroom in Italy and France. If you happen to find some in the forest, you've definitely hit the jackpot.Besides the seasonal mushrooms, the market has other delicious treats, and I found a unique ingredient that's featured in sweets in the Czech Republic and throughout Central Europe.
很多人不知道，但是中欧 and especially 捷克波兰的and Slovakia 这些 country 也有，包括奥地利，他们常用到的是罂粟花籽 ，so 这个黑黑的看起来像 maybe 像黑芝麻。Can I have one of the poppy seed, please? Thank you very much. So again, poppy seed. Okay. So if you take a look at this, and actually 罂粟花籽是从罂粟花 ，so 以前是做鸦片的这种 opium poppy 这个植物，但是this is not 有毒的在里头。Actually, it's the 籽 and the 籽 is used all over Central Europe as a dessert ingredient. So perfectly safe to eat, perfectly delicious. The flavor of the 罂粟籽 is very reminiscent of 像黑芝麻这种 nutty flavor. 罂粟籽因为很小很小，它们通常是磨碎。You can taste all the little bits of the poppy seed in here.
Did you know that the Czech Republic is actually the world's leading producer of poppy seeds? These seeds can be sprinkled on baked goods and breads or used as a filling ingredient for desserts. Their nutty flavor is excellent. I hope you'll try some the next time you get a chance. I've got to wrap up this short visit to the market. It's time to head back to Benjamin for my Michelin meal. I can't wait to see how Gavin plays off traditional recipes to create fresh new flavors using the seasonal Czech ingredients.
I'm here with Chef Gavin Lewis at Restaurant Benjamin here in Prague, and we're about to taste one of the dishes that have come out of your kitchen. And can you tell me what is our first dish here today?
It's basically variations of celeriac and onion. And some onion cooked in yogurt way, really sour. We cook the onions in that and then add quite a bit of butter to kind of balance it. Some caramelized puree, which we slowly cook down in butter until all the natural sugar caramelizes in it. And we puree that and make a crisp out of that as well. Some salt-baked celeriac, which is cooked in a dough, a salt dough, basically in the oven. And then we've got some pickled onions, which have just been blowtorched for a little bit of kind of smokiness to it. Yeah.
What is this lovely sauce on the outside?
The sauce is clarified celeriac juice from all the trimmings from the rest of the celeriac that we have. We try not to waste as much as we can. So we clarify that and then reduce that with chicken stock until it's kind of nice and thick. And then finish with some thyme oil for a kind of herbal note at the end of it. And that's it, and a slow-cooked egg yolk as well, just for
a little richness.
Yeah.
For me, it's just very bright and sunny, the yellow yolk here. And
everything else is a bit brown. And
well, I think it's very visually interesting to me, the onion petals. Just that little char on them just really sets a color contrast. And
that's the plan.
What do you suggest is the best way to just kind of dig in? And
Absolutely, just go for it.
Okay, so here is the onion. Beautiful, luscious with the yolk. I'm gonna get a little bit of the cream.
Absolutely.
A little bit of everything in one bite.
Always the best way.
I think for me, just really unexpected textures in all this kind of creaminess that's going on here. There's the onion that's very lusciously treated, but then you have that kind of coating of that creamy egg yolk on top. Just that little extra richness. And I love the onion, the way that it's pickled. It still has its crunch.
Really nice. The plan was to basically have a balance of the salty, sour, the richness, to try and get everything to come together with like the earthiness of the celeriac as well. And that was the plan. I think we've achieved it.
让我惊讶的就是它的口感，洋葱你会觉得因为炒过或是煮过会变成烂烂的，但是反而这个是很脆，因为是煮过，但是也有腌制过，所以我吃的时候口感是非常 creamy with the celeriac， 然后它也有是煮过，也有做成泥。然后还有把它的juice 也炼出来做成 sauce， 所以也是一个这种 Michelin 的概念，就是把一个食材用成3种不同的这种做法 ，and just everything kind of mixed together is a really, really lovely bite. Yummy, very yummy.
I'm glad to hear it.
Have you all noticed? I'm chatting face to face with Chef Gavin during the meal. But this is the typical setup for any guest coming here to eat. Benjamin's gourmet theater concept has the chef explaining the dish and its story directly to the guests for each course. It's an innovative idea that completely immerses them in the dining experience.
What is this next dish that we have here?
The next dish we have is basically raw char, which we saw at the farm earlier. So this is
it's really literally fresh out of the water.
a couple of hours ago. Yeah, we basically just prep it, fillet it off, take the bones out, and then soak it in a salt solution, 10% salt, which keeps it nice and juicy and kind of seasons it as it goes. Some pickled kohlrabi, which is the discs, which add a little bit of earthy sourness as it goes. Some nasturtium leaves.
Or a little peppery kind of kick.
Yeah, peppery, slightly watercressy kind of flavour to it. And then the sauce is just the bones from the fish reduced down, which we mix with some buttermilk and some dill oil as well for a little bit of freshness.
It looks absolutely lovely, and I just want to point out, actually, folks, this plate is stone. It's quite heavy.
Yeah, some river rocks from outside of Prague, which we managed to get, and someone with more skill than me has managed to kind of grind them down into bowls.
So these were made specifically for...
Yeah, handmade just for us here. It's logical that came
fish
from a river.
Came, right? Yeah,
the fish that came from the same river to marry them up.
A lot of people just when they think about plating, just the shapes involved. And I think it's interesting. The nasturtium leaves are circular. The kohlrabi has been obviously handled already. It's just that extra little level of detail. I think that
it all kind of pulls together in the same way to create that visual aspect that we're looking for.
这个就是我们之前在渔场那边看到的鳟鱼 and I think it's really interesting that it's been prepared in a way that 让我觉得好像是有一点像生鱼片，但是跟生鱼片有什么区别呢？哇，他们就是用创意力，他们把这个是用盐水稍微腌过，所以可以保留它里头的这种水分。And 它搭配的东西是有buttermilk， 还有一些石螺的做的油，香喷喷的在嘴巴里。And I think 最主要这个原来就是大头菜，大头菜是腌的，然后等于是有一点这种脆的口感。It's quite a delicious bite. The texture of the fish is nice and meaty, and again, because it's been slightly brined, it has a really juicy aspect to it. Delicious. Thank you.
Thank you. What we have now is some poached carp, which we also got from the farm earlier, which we've just poached off in a little bit of butter and some herbs, some carrot puree, some potato gnocchi, some potato dumplings, some gingerbread sauce, and the topping is chopped walnuts and gingerbread as well.
The sauce, can you tell me a little bit about gingerbread? Why gingerbread?
I think it comes from the old kind of Habsburg Empire, the old Austro-Hungarian Empire. They obviously use gingerbread quite a lot around Christmas time. I think gingerbread's quite a big thing at that time of year. And carp as well is traditionally is what we eat over here for Christmas.
I did read about that you have to have carp as a traditional thing. So
normally for Christmas it's breadcrumbs and deep fried. But this way with the gingerbread sauce also fairly traditional.
我很惊讶，它的 sauce 的这个味道好像是有一点像甜面酱的味道，因为他们说是用 gingerbread 是很传统 around Christmas time 他们会吃的甜食 and 鲤鱼 carp 圣诞节的时候他们也会吃这种。For me, it's very interesting. There is kind of the crumbles and then the 坚果放在这个鱼上头 ，gingerbread, the walnuts 这些都是传统的Christmas time 可以吃的东西，所以这道菜真的是用一些经典的传统的这些cultural things， 它把它集合在一个 plate 上。这个旁边是等于是传统的面疙瘩类的东西，吃起来的口感就是有一点 QQ 的，有嚼劲，是传统经典的用法。因为这个原来是没有钱的人，他们就是 potato， 然后蛋啊，然后面粉全部和在一起。但是现在就是很传统的布拉格 and Central Europe、Eastern Europe， 你会想到就是这种的dumpling， 搭上这个 carrot puree， 面疙瘩有一点嚼劲 QQ 的，这个很滑，还有 the sauce very smooth and the 鱼它的肉其实很嫩，但是也是很扎实，然后有一些坚果的这种脆脆的在上头，所以是很丰富的一口。
This dish clearly showcases the culinary point of view here at Benjamin. We have a combination of classic Czech Christmas time ingredients, but how they're put together turns tradition on its head and completely subverts your expectations, especially with the gingerbread sauce. The result is a refreshing taste surprise. This tour de force comes from countless hours of work and experimentation chefs put in every day trying to create something new and exciting.
It seems like the meal has gone by so quickly. We're already on to the sweet course. So what is this creation?
So this is yogurt, basically yogurt mousse. So in Czech Republic, when you're a little kid, there's a yogurt called Pribiniaček. Which all little kids they love. My dog loves it. Everyone does. And so when we were thinking about dessert, we thought going back to memories of childhood and stuff like that. So we thought like Pribiniaček. It's a yogurt mousse. It's kind of classically made with egg yolks and sugar. And cream and some slices of pears which have been pickled just in pear juice with a little bit of citric acid.
And the little...
So that's pear gel. We juice the pears, clarify the juice, and then reduce it down with some agar just to set it, and then blend it. The chips are made of lightly caramelized milk, and then just dehydrated, and that's all blended with a little bit of fennel pollen from the flowers of the fennel.
Wow, okay.
And then the sauce is made from something called Hruškovica, which is basically a pear brandy over here. And then we just add a little bit of tarragon oil to marry with the fennel pollen.
Obviously, this is very seasonal, right? This is
Yeah, it's kind of end of summer, beginning of autumn kind of season.
这个看起来不是冰淇淋，而是一种 mousse， 然后是用yogurt 做的，但是看起来也许是比较 creamy 的这种，但是一放在嘴巴里很蓬松 very 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 fluffy texture. That yogurt flavor is prominent, but it's not sour. Yes. Yeah. 腌制的 pears 也有一种nice texture to them as well. 跟亚洲的这种梨是品种是很不一样的，口感不是那么水嫩的，比较像个苹果 but a little bit more texture to it. And the surprising thing is the herbs. 所以这些香料的用法是相当特别的，因为它有用 fennel seeds 还有 tarragon 做成一种油。虽然它的口感很轻，但是它的 flavor 是相当 powerful 的。It's very unexpected. Usually I would think that the creamy element is maybe a little bit heavier.
The heavier,
yeah. And often the herbs are the ones that kind of brighten up the flavor. But in a way, it's the earthiness of that licoricey.
That adds the depth to it.
Yeah. So it's kind of like it
flips around a
playing
bit.
with my mind a little bit. And I think 最好的餐厅里头，他们会把你的 expectations 等于是颠倒。这种的 expectations is also how the chef and the 餐厅会 interact with the guests.
Tasting these 4 dishes wasn't just about eating a delicious meal, but was also about getting to play a little game with the chef. Yes, he used traditional Czech ingredients, but they were combined in such unexpected ways. Trout wasn't grilled as the usual, it was served raw. Carp was poached instead of fried. It's like the montage editing technique used in filming movies. Using the same set of pictures but combining them in different ways will give you different meanings and unexpected excitement. This meal at Benjamin has been such a fun experience, but the game's not over just yet.
And what's this?
So this is our surprise for you.
So not on the menu.
No, not on the menu. Stjepan said earlier his favourite way to eat the wild mushrooms was on scrambled eggs and toast. We just soaked it down in a bit of salt, a bit of butter, and some scrambled eggs.
Wow, what a treat. Surprise. Okay, thank you very much. And I think for me, the plate is perfect because it's almost like we were in the forest and there's like a tree stump. It's kind of cut off. But I mean, the mushrooms, they just look so inviting.
No.
Yeah. Really yummy.
Yeah.
Simple, easy, delicious, but really captures the flavor of the mushrooms, the texture of the mushrooms, that fluffiness from the egg, the crunch of the bread, that little bit of butter, and just a little bit of herbs. Wow.
That's your present from Benjamin.
Thank you.
For the Czechs, this dish is one of the most classic ways to enjoy mushrooms at home. It's so simple, but so full with the flavors and spirit of the autumn forests of Central Europe. I hope you'll try making it sometime.
I'm the only one dining here tonight, but only 10 seats total in the restaurant. So what was the concept behind such a small, intimate setup?
I think, as you said, is intimacy. We're not a big restaurant. We don't have a lot of space to put 25 people in, you know, and also with the counter as it is here, it kind of encourages a bit more kind of social dining. If, let's say, we have 10 people, if it's 5 couples, by the end of the evening they're all talking together, and also the way the menu works, that everyone has the same dish at the same time. It kind of creates that kind of atmosphere that everyone's having the same experience at the same time as they go. If we have more people, I think we might lose that that kind of intimacy.
他们的概念就是他们要他们的 diners have a really intimate experience. And 像我跟主厨今天可以这样子对话是很难的。I think 这个也是很重要的。想到 dining experience 不是就是一个人在这边享受，而是跟所有的人在这边一起享受。And I think it's a wonderful concept for how to bring community together.
Yeah, I think so.
I just want to thank you again for this really amazing experience, insight into here, and something very, very memorable that I will.
You're very welcome.
Okay.
No,
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Getting to enjoy good food is one of life's great pleasures. At Benjamin, you're not just served delicious dishes to satisfy your appetite, but also a carefully thought out restaurant environment so you can enjoy a unique and interactive atmosphere for your experience. Thanks so much to the entire team at Benjamin for your warm hospitality. In our next episode, I visit the final Michelin restaurant on our journey, an Asian-themed restaurant that has been a hot spot in Prague in recent years. I'm looking forward to seeing how Asian classics I'm familiar with get a whole new treatment here in this city.